What's up, man? Y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all know how we coming this year. Behind the Scenes TV is Big Bruh back at you again with some more information on how to register your music. So check this out. Sitting around, got all this paperwork, you got all these files and stuff, and you want to know how to register your works, how to register your music, the mechanical royalties, everything that you need to do, right? People miss out on so much stuff. A lot of artists are putting out a lot of projects, EPs, albums, singles. It's easy to just put yourself on a distribution platform and just get a few plays, but you got to be set up behind the scenes. If you're not set up behind the scenes, you're not getting no money at all. You just set up with a distribution. Ain't that crazy? Because so you can set up your distribution and not have your back into your business work set up, and you won't get nothing. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. So check this out. Today, Behind the Scenes TV, we're going to take y'all into the 8 steps that you need to do before you register your work, how to do it, and what to expect from it. Behind the Scenes TV, the 8 steps to do before you put your music and your work out. All business.
So let's cover the 8 mistakes to avoid so you don't miss out on your royalties. Number 8, do I need to register before or after I release my song? And BMI will give you the option to do both, but what my suggestion is to register before you release your song. When you upload your song to a distributor, usually you have to do that about 4 weeks before the release date. And that's the perfect time to register your song on BMI, because during that window of time, you can get your registration in early. They can process it in their secret back-end system, and then on day 1, you will be ready to collect royalties as soon as your song is released. Okay, next, number 7, do I need to upload an audio file during my BMI registration? Funny enough, you don't. And this is a really common misconception because people think that registering on BMI is the same as copyrighting their music, but it's not. And in fact, they have nothing in common at all. These are 2 different registrations with 2 different processes. Let me explain. So when you copyright your song in the US Copyright Office, you will upload lyrics or an MP3 or some kind of file that goes along with your copyright registration. But BMI doesn't work that way. When your music is streamed or played on the radio or used in a television commercial, it's actually up to the company to report that usage to BMI. That's how BMI knows that your song was played. So in short, BMI doesn't really care about the audio file or what your song sounds like at all. As long as your song and your IPI number is listed on the cue sheets and the radio playlist reports, you'll get paid. Number 6, do you need a publisher to collect your publishing royalties? The answer is thankfully no. You might already know that your performance royalties are made up of the songwriting portion and the publishing portion. And a lot of artists think that, oh, well, since I'm a songwriter and I'm registering my song as a songwriter, I'm missing out on that publishing half. But actually, BMI has already got this figured out and solved for us. During registration, all you have to do is put 200% in the writer's share, and that will leave 0% in the publisher's share. In fact, you can even see that there is no publisher listed, but I'm still collecting 200% of the pie. The full writer's share and the full publisher's share. The best part about this is that you don't have to shell out the extra cash to create a publishing company. All you have to do is just throw the percentage in the writer's share and you're done. All right, number 5, do beat makers need to register their beats on BMI? 99% of the time, the answer is no. The reason is because you only register finished songs on BMI. And if you're a producer and a beat maker, your beats actually aren't finished until they are sold or licensed and there are lyrics added to those instrumentals. Besides, just like how I said earlier, BMI is only going to pay for music that's used in the real world, and that doesn't count if it's just sitting there on BeatStars. Not only that, but once the beat is purchased by an artist, the beat lease agreement or the unlimited license is going to indicate indicate how much of a writer's share you get as the beat maker, and that would determine the writer's share that needs to be put in BMI in the first place. So unless the beat is completely finished and it's going to be played on radio, Spotify, television as is, then you don't need to register at all. All right, next mistake, number 4. Do I need to register lyrics on BMI? And what about lyrics that are in the public domain? So the answer for the first part is simple. Yes, there is an option to register lyrics on BMI. But if you write original music that use lyrics in the public domain, like writing music to a hymn or a poem, you might be tempted to just put no lyrics in the registration form because you didn't write them, but that would actually be a mistake. BMI makes it easy to register lyrics that are in the public domain. Here's the process. In the first step of registration, select music and lyrics, and then on the next page, you can actually indicate if your work is a public domain arrangement, and then you would click yes to this checkbox. But if you don't first select music and lyrics and select music only, that would be a mistake. We're down to the final 3, and this one actually is a question from a subscriber. I have a 15-track album. Do I need to register each song as a separate work, or can I register the whole album? And this is an extremely common question because BMI doesn't really make this clear on their website. But here's how this works. You need to first register your album starting with song number 1, almost like you're registering a single. Then you need to go through the whole registration process, and on the last page it might look like you did something wrong because there's no button to add additional songs. But here's what you need to do. Click submit on your first song. Once the first song of the album is submitted, there will be a copy button that appears, and you can then copy the information from the first song onto the rest of your registrations for the rest of the album. After you hit that copy button, you can easily repeat the process again and again to register all the songs on your album. Number 2, and this one also came from a subscriber, so drop your questions below if you have any. I use a sample library to create my song, such as drum beats. Does this mean that my work contains samples? It's really easy to get confused on this one, but here's the answer. If you use royalty-free sample libraries in your song, then your work actually does not contain samples. Using a royalty-free sample library is not the same as sampling a copyrighted piece of audio. If you sample another song or use an audio clip that is copyrighted inside your new song, then you will have to indicate that you did use samples in your new song. This means that on the second step of registration, you would have to click yes, your work does contain samples, because that sample is from a previously written work. If you're still confused about this, just leave a comment below and I'll help you figure out which category you fall in. All right, here we are, number 1. Can I register a song on BMI that I wrote even if another artist releases it? BMI, being a performing rights organization, represents you, the songwriter. So regardless of who performs the song or who records the song, you still are that songwriter. That means you will register songs that you composed on BMI whether you're the performer or not. But even doing this correctly, if you choose the wrong distributor, you'll actually miss out on your mechanical royalties when your song is streamed on Spotify.